All right, so our next speaker will share their powerful journey of overcoming unimaginable personal trauma and how they turn adversity into purpose through education, therapy, and advocacy for youth in foster care. With you all, Rosa.
Hello, everyone. Before I begin, I would just like to give a huge shout out to Professor Giacalone and the Communication Studies Department. And I'd also give a huge shout out to Desiree, and my sister Regina, and my family, Celaya, and Julio, and Laura. Thank you guys for being here. How many of you ever felt life threw you a curveball when you least expected it? Imagine dealing with adult responsibilities as a young teen, caring for a sick parent, and feeling like your mother traded her life for yours. And navigating life-altering tragedies. This became my reality. But even with these challenges, the seeds of resilience were being sown. From a young age, my life was far from typical. My mother battled hepatitis C, which meant I spent most of my time learning to cook, manage bills, and grocery shop. By my early teens, I was handling household chores, cooking to alleviate some stress from my mom. The weight on my shoulders was heavy, and all I wanted to do was escape. Hang out with friends, and experience the simple joys of being a kid. Little did I know that life had a different path in store, one that would test my strength and reshape my understanding of the world. One night changed everything while waiting to be picked up from a friend's birthday party. A car opened fire, hitting 4 of us in a drive-by shooting. Later learning, we lost our dear friend Tara Merrill. I fought for my life in the hospital. A bullet having exploded in my stomach, and unimaginable news awaited me. News that would plunge me deeper into darkness. The news of Tara's death sent me into a medically induced coma. Later within the same week, news of my mother being placed on life support. I truly believe that my mother traded her life for mine. I'm sorry. I recall calling someone the night of the shooting, and I highly suspect I accidentally dialed my mom, which I believe put her in extreme stress state to be put on life support. And I truly believe she traded her life for mine. The day she was pulled from life support was the day that I woke up from my coma. I remember the sterile smell of the hospital, the beeping machines, and the blurry faces of doctors and nurses. However, amidst this pain, there was a beacon of light. Waking up from the coma was like being born into a nightmare. The world was mute, and my body felt like a stranger. But amidst the pain, I remember the warmth of my sister Regina's hand in mine. A silent promise that I wasn't alone. Her being my rock and always being there for me guided me through my path. Losing my mother and dealing with such trauma in my early teens led me down a dark path and filled with acting out and eventually entering in foster care. This chapter was filled with ups and downs and a blend of challenges and unexpected support. Foster care was a mixed bag. Some placements were helpful, while others were incredibly challenging. Yet, amidst the chaos, I found peace in journaling with the help of my former probation officer, Des. She saw beyond my tough exterior, and she noticed my love for writing and bought me a journal. That simple act of kindness showed me that someone cared and I wasn't invisible. It was my first step towards healing and putting my thoughts and feelings on paper. It became my therapy, my escape. It was through It was through writing that I began to partially process my grief, my anger, and my confusion. It allowed me to find my voice and start piecing together the broken parts of myself. Now, fueled by these experiences, I have turned to education as my anchor. Returning to Opportunity Youth Academy to complete my high school diploma marked a new chapter. Shortly after, I received life-changing news that I was pregnant and with my daughter Salaya. This news was filled with excitement and joy, but also a sense of unease. At that time, my life felt far from settled. I was grappling with personal trauma, instability, and the constant cycle of being unhoused. This situation became even more challenging due to the physical and mental abusive behavior of Salaya's father. The abuse escalated when I learned I was pregnant. His fear of me leaving and raising our daughter without him triggered violent outbursts, with him even trying to harm my unborn child. At 3 months pregnant, I made the difficult decision to leave him, prioritizing the safety for myself and my daughter. I embarked on the solidarity journey, determined to break the cycle of generational trauma and create a secure, loving environment for Salaya. Despite the setbacks and my emotional turmoil, my first journey to San José City College, being a single newly mother, struggling with being homeless, and working full-time to try to juggle it all at once. It was hard, and I eventually ended up dropping out of San José City. The second time around in college, I was faced with losing my oldest nephew, Miguel. We lost him due to years of undealt trauma, and we sadly lost him to a fentanyl overdose. After this, I was determined to succeed. I realized that through learning, I could create a better future for myself, for my daughter, and hopefully other young folks. However, my path took a transformative turn when I decided to seek professional help. I decided to seek therapy with the help of my therapist, Elizabeth. She shared that sharing my story would be a great way to help me deal with my trauma. So for the past 5 years, working with my therapist has helped me tremendously. It helped me to be the person that I am today with the tools that I was given early on with life, and with the help of her and the support of my support system. I'm now committed to pursuing a higher education with the goal of completing my BA in psychology. I want to help young people facing similar challenges to be the support system I often lacked. I also want to show them no matter how dark things may seem, there's always a hope for a path forward, which is why I've also been wanting to share my story and touch other folks with similar backgrounds. I'm proud to say that currently I work for Bill Wilson Center as a case manager for former foster youth and victims of crime. With the help of Mrs. Giacalone, taking her communication studies class last semester sparked my desire to use my speaking opportunities. To help target young folks, I also dedicate my time speaking with the probation department, raising victim awareness and highlighting how victims can become perpetrators. Soon I'll volunteer in facilities speaking with youth and continue speaking engagements with Pivotal, EOPS, and MECHA, and as well as National Compadre Networks. My story is about resilience, and turning pain into purpose, and advocating for change to create a supportive world for every young person. I share my story not for sympathy, but to inspire action. Let's support foster care programs, advocate for mental health, resources, and create communities where young people feel supported, And together, we can make a difference in the lives of those who need it the most. Life has taught me that resilience isn't about avoiding the falls, but it's about getting back up every time. And it's about finding strength in vulnerability and turning pain into purpose. Today, I stand before you as not as a victim, but a survivor. My story is still being written, and I am determined to make it a story of triumph. I pledge to use my voice to advocate for change and to support those who feel lost and create a world where every young person has the opportunity to thrive. Join me in this mission and let's turn empathy into action and create a bright future for all. Thank you.